All right. Hello and welcome. It is Sunday, Palm Sunday, and here in the Snowbird meeting room, today I'm going to get in the tech preview, which I was in yesterday, and I was able to get on the High Pop server. I did have a crash while I was going to the jump gate, and it recovered in, say, a minute and 30 seconds. So it was very fast from what it was before. I'm just loading, I'm just trying to get in, but I do want to talk about the ISC. That was monumental. It was a lot of information and it was good. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to bring that up and take a look at that while I'm waiting to get into the tech preview. So give me one moment while I dig that one up, and we'll take a look at it while I'm waiting for the tech preview. So I'm going to switch over to the scene.
Roger that, flight. Up, good.
It's still running, so bring this over. And skip that. Okay, let me back this up a little bit. Really? Okay. And go ahead and move that out and start it up.
Sits at the very heart of the non-combat Star Citizen experience. And as it continues to evolve in the upcoming Alpha 323 and beyond, its next major evolution is
Whoops.
less about the places you'll go and more about the ones you'll start and come back to. Now, hangars, whether they're persistent, instanced, personal, or staging, make up the next frontier of cargo gameplay. And we went to Chad and his team for an early look at where they're going and how they're progressing. Let's find out more.
So yeah, we've had a couple ISCs before to talk about the new cargo and hangars features coming, but now that we're here and about to release things, we want to talk a bit about how that impacts your play experience, even if you don't care at all about cargo. So let's start with persistent hangars. What are they and what does that mean? So a persistent hangar is an instance hangar that is going to be assigned to you whenever you select your home location when logging into the game for the first time for a patch. When that happens, what we do is we determine the largest ship that you have and then entitle to you a persistent hangar that's of the size needed to facilitate that ship. Whenever you go into that hangar into the game, that hangar at your home location is always your hangar, and you'll be able to use it like your home. You'll be able to keep things in the hangar, you'll be able to leave things around, you can invite friends in, you can treat it like your own little oasis. So let's talk about for these personal hangars, how do you actually get into them?
Please proceed to side landing bay.
you can make a request via ATC for landing. And when we do that, we will check to see if you have any personal hangars entitled to you. You'll be able to enter in using largely the same methodology that you do now, land, and then you can just hang out in there.
Okay, this right here. We'll see what happens with that. I've already been told that somebody's going to be sitting in my couch when I come into my hangar. Not, but anyway.
As far as what can you actually do with your personal hangar and what kinds of things can you decorate with it, what we're going to do is allow you to call anything in your inventory up via that freight elevator. You can pick it up off the freight elevator either with your hands or using the tractor beam and just strew it about your location however you pick.
Also in the hangars, you'll notice several new kiosks. We have the freight elevator kiosk, which has a brand new UI and inventory system to deal with large volumes of cargo.
You're going to have on the left-hand side a section that is showing.
Now this is interesting. This right here. You guys probably can't see it. Hold on. Let me move the camera. Hello. What's up, Joker? I'm going to move the camera so you can see what this guy's talking about here. Okay. Here's the, right here, the EVA tank. That's interesting. So that's on the flight suit. That's cool. Making me dizzy. Oh, moving the camera around.
The contents of the platform itself. And on the right-hand side, similar inventory layout with all your armor and weapons and items.
And then you decide what you want to spawn in the freight elevator. The freight elevator then comes up, and then you can start doing like loading and unloading of various cargo into your ship and so on.
If you're considerate about how you're loading things and you're trying to optimize your loading times, it'll give you a lot of power as far as, for example, making sure that certain kinds of things are front-loaded on the platform to make your multi-crew loading as streamlined as possible. And anything that's in your inventory, you're going to be able to call up. Some things you might have to put into an inventory container box. We're talking 8, 16, 24, even 32 SU size container boxes that you can put large items in. Now you can raise that up on the...
Okay, let's jump back just a touch.
Items in. Now you...
So this is the new setup. Okay. What do you guys think? Do you think it's more streamlined, more not as clunky as the one we have now? Because I'm liking it. I think it's going to be good. And this is the store-all container. So the ones where we buy and that we're losing as consumables right now. I think this is going to be kind of slick.
You can raise that up on the platform, including in collections, transfer that very quickly onto your ship, and then take them to another location. In your personal hangar, you'll also have access to several other kiosks, starting with the item bank,
which are another form of kiosk.
Big. That's huge. Can't wait for that.
Which you could almost consider like a small freight elevator in a way, in that you can retrieve personal items such as clothing, armor, and weapons.
Because the item that's being delivered will be delivered in a tray that's in the same machine. So you interact that kind of like you interact with a loot box and you get that out. So no other player can actually physically get anything from your local inventory.
And these item banks can be found not just within the hangars, but also the wider locations, such as your hubs and other.
There's one thing I gotta check. while I'm doing this. Give me a moment. Oh, I'm in. Hold on 1 second. Am I in somebody's body again? Oh, man. Yes. I keep loading into people's bodies today. Okay, we're gonna try this one. And I'll go back to this.
The key areas of a location to retrieve your personal items.
Since you can't interact with your inventory anymore at any given time, it means like we need to have enough item banks around each location so you don't block each other from accessing a terminal, right?
It's just a quicker way to get a quick gun or a few meta pins or your armor without having to load it up from the freight elevator. And the last kiosk that I want to talk about is the ASOP terminal.
And here we go.
Which we have positioned in the hangar.
Okay, it said vehicle terminal. Okay, so if this is the workaround for your ships and your vehicles to be in one place in the persistent hangar, this is cool because they said they were having a problem with that. So if they integrate it to where you can get your vehicles and your ships off of one terminal, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I think that's going to be cool.
So you can request your ships from within the hangar and not just the spaceport.
So they will still remain in the spaceport. So if you don't have a personal hangar in your location, you can request your ship also from there.
What we're doing is we're changing the way that the ships spawn in the game.
You can now request your ships from within the hangar and they will appear to you, but they won't just come out of thin air. What happens is the whole of the floor will open up.
You get this like amazing view of the hangar, the lights dim, the doors open.
And the landing platform will be rising up towards you and your ship will be there.
We try to balance it in a way that it doesn't take too much time for you, but also that it feels like it has the right weight to it, but also you don't have to wait for it too long.
So now you have a seamless transition and a realistic way of storing your ships away.
Additionally, you can do clever things like call up a smaller vehicle, such as a ground vehicle, drive it off, and then call up a larger vehicle. Then you'll have access to your ground vehicles without having to go to another location. You'll be able to call up multiple ships and maybe have one person fly off with one ship, call another one, have another person in your party fly up with another ship. Or you can just call up a ship, change your mind, and then call up a different ship without having to leave or anything like that. It gives you a lot of flexibility. And I can already tell what some of you are thinking right now. We're not going to let the system like eat your body and store it into the inventory or anything like that. We'll make sure to account for that such that if there's a blocking change that happens, we'll stop the process, go back up to the default state, and then tell the player about the issue so that they can account for it. If you do want to jump into the platform just before it closes and fall to your death, you can fall to your death if you want to.
So this is really cool, and we're really happy to get this in. It's been discussed for some years now, and it's been a very tricky thing to fit in, and certain tech's required to be able to do it. You'd be able to have this hangar your own space and call your own ships and do a lot more within the hangar now.
Now that we're adding all of this new facility to the hangars in the game, allowing them to be persistent, adding these freight elevators, adding this ship platform, there's a lot of more things that we have to have in these hangars for them to be useful for what we're adding.
So the hangar sizes had to increase quite a bit. We did not want to do that originally in the beginning, but soon when we did prototyping, we figured out that not all the hangars, as I said, like the low-tech hangars in particular, are quite old by this point. Not all of them were to the same standards or metrics. So we figured that with the landing pad now going down, you had this gap for like quite some time before the doors close. So there was a very narrow walkway for the player sometimes. So we had to rejig some things and made it actually larger.
So the large and XL have had significant size changes. So the XL is about 20% larger and the large is about 30% larger. So certain ships that were a little tight can now fit a lot more easily.
So you don't feel like your wings almost scratch the walls of it. So it feels a bit more natural and better to the play experience to land in your hangar now.
Here we go again.
The medium is...
I am so glad they did this because the C1 has such a... When they give us a hangar, it is so tight that it kind of sucks. So hopefully this changes. But let me check and see if I was able to get in. And I'm still loading. So, gonna go back to the video.
It's the same, but taller. And the small has not been changed. But we have classified ships to fit into the medium that were once classified as small. So hopefully a much better player experience than there has been before. And it's been interesting to take the design of an elevator and the door and extrapolate that across multiple sizes. So in some cases you can kind of widen out the door and use the same shapes, and in some cases you need to think really about how those shapes work, and sometimes they don't work within a small door, for example, when it did work in a much wider door. So we've had to play around with that and keep them looking consistent with each other, but also adapt those shapes to work for each size.
So this is an actualization of a long-term goal for this entire cargo career, to make the whole thing feel more real. It means that the whole experience is going to allow for manual loading. It'll also feel more rewarding because it'll give you more interesting choices to make throughout the process. It'll make multi-crewing a more interesting and useful experience. It's going to just make the whole experience a more skill-intensive and interesting and tactile.
Okay. So we'll have a persistent hangar. They did mention what's going to go on at the mining facilities, and when we go to the distribution centers, when we do the cargo there. So hopefully these mechanics will be there at the mining facilities and the distribution centers. It should. We'll see. But it's going to be interesting. So in this part with the trading, you have an option, and this I like.
Another thing that we've talked about is automated loading in the games. This allows you to still do commodity trading without needing to actually move the boxes yourself. It will be an option in the commodity terminal. Whenever you go and you pick the destination inventory, you'll be confronted with several options. One is the location inventory. The next will be all your ships that are at the location. If you choose a ship, you'll have the option to have it be automatically unloaded or loaded for you, of course, with an added cost. The ship has to be stored to allow for the transfer.
How much, I wonder how much that cost is. Does it depend on what you are getting or something like that? So remember, at the distribution centers, if there are cargo missions, which they did mention, will that come out of your pay? I don't know. We'll have to see.
Transfer, and it will be time locked while that transfer is occurring. Different locations in the game will have different amounts of time. Places that are more optimized for trade are going to allow for faster transfer. You'll be able to still do the trading. You just have to wait a little bit and pay a bit more money, so your profits won't be quite as good in that case. Once the automatic...
Okay, so automated cargo transfer. That's cool. So the ship is locked until you can get it back.
Automatic loading process is finished. You can just go to the ASOP terminal in the hangar, access it, raise it, and go off, and you're on your way. If you care about cargo, this is going to be transformational. But even if you're not interested in cargo at all, it's still a foundational change for the game that fundamentally changes principles about inventory, physicality, and your play experience.
The work's ongoing. We're nearly there. I think the team's done a great job on this. It's been tricky to get it working as it should be.
It's a big milestone for the game that's been years in the making and coming. While I'm here to talk about it today, there's been a large number of teams across the entire company that have helped. Everybody from art, animation, VFX, through to all of the gameplay teams, engine teams. We've had a huge effort from Austin, Montreal, Los Angeles, Frankfurt, Manchester. It's been a big endeavor. So I want to thank everyone that's been helping to see this vision through, and I'm really looking forward to getting this into your hands so that you can play with it.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the days of big ships scraping by the edges of player hangars are almost behind us. That you'll soon be able to spawn your ships and have them rise up directly into these newly expanded hangars. And that the freight elevators and item banks within will herald a new future of physicalized cargo loading that should have long-reaching ramifications for life in the verse. And of course, while everything you see on ISC is always an early work in progress, because of the dramatic and far-reaching effects these systems will have on all life in the verse, you can expect this work will continue to iterate and evolve from what you've just seen between now and its upcoming targeted release in Alpha 3.23. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game development with you, and we'll see you all here next week.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and close that out. I'm very excited for that, and I'm sucking somebody else's body again. Let me try one more time. 15 minutes loading to be second. Oh, let's see. I'm going to try it. See if I can get out of this bed. Let's try USA. Okay, I've got a server FPS of 30 to 29. See if I get lucky this time. If anybody's got any questions or comments or anything like that, please feel free, put them in the chat, and we'll see. I will do my best to answer with the knowledge that I have. I'm getting a server FPS of 30 on this one. See if I can get past the bed part. So after this one, I will be doing, won't be doing a stream in the PU. I'm going to see if I can finish the overdrive missions. And then I have to do some other things. We'll see how this goes. I was able to get in there yesterday and fly around a bit. Was on an 800 pop and it was holding very well. Oof. It's a long loading screen. Well, also it's the weekend and people are trying to get in to check stuff out. There's supposed to be another test later today. I'm hoping this works today. It's been rough trying to get in today. You couldn't get in? I was able to get in, but I got... You got an error code? What type of error code? This one might be a... Oh, the 1904? Ugh. Did you try a best? Did you try a couple other ones? When I go to the best, I end up loading into somebody else's body and can't get out of the bed. I'm trying USA. That's the one I used yesterday. I was able to get into it. Getting some reactions now. Oh, somebody else is in here. Interesting. Oh, actually you made it up. Nice. And there's another person. Yeah, best of my servers are like, so I just gave... Yeah, I made it this time. Okay. I'm not gonna stand around here with that guy. That's the main problem. I was running into other people. Well, I'm coming in there to finish my other ones. What's wrong with Zero? What is he having problems with? Doing the first mission? He disappeared yesterday when we were doing it. Okay, we are in. Not having any luck with reshade on this one. Oh, the second wave. Well, I was able to get the first one done. I'm on the second mission, and then I'll be on the third. Okay. Well, we're in here. Let's see what we got. Server is running at 30. So let's see if I can get some armor on. There we go. Okay. Get rid of that freaking helmet. I hate that helmet. Yeah, gonna have to buy a helmet. I'm not gonna worry about weapons at this point. I'm not gonna do a whole lot in here right now. I'm just gonna bop around a little bit. You know what I forgot? Okay. All right. Gonna go ahead and I know the jump point's not working, but I still want to go over there, check it out.
Now leaving the station. Stack their tools.
I'm gonna carry one at least. And one of these. That should be good. Server is running at 30.
Now arriving.
Your vehicle has been. Please visit us again. Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
Take Snowbird 2 and
Please
4.
visit us again.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go in there after I get done. I'll work on it. Okay.
You are clear to launch.
At least they give me a decent sized hangar. Losing frames per second on the graphics card. I'm 16 to 18. But that's about normal.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna head to the jump gate. See what the chat is talking about. Give me another route. Still saying obstructed. So we'll clear this route. Do it this way. Head to Bikini Bottom.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
Hey, Brian. Okay. Still showing obstructed. Okay. Clear this route out again.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
Okay. Heading to the jump point.
Quantum travel engaged.
I have left the channel. That's not good. Right. 40 to 39 frames per second in quantum, and server is still running at 30. Coming up on the jump point. No, you guys can't see that. Hold on. Moving this down here. Get that locked. Okay. So up in the corner, you'll be able to see the frames per second. I'm running 45 right now. And the server FPS is at 30. So, whoops. And I've got no control. So, stepping out of the seat. Or did it crash on me? Looked like it did. It said I left the ship, and I didn't. Yeah, but right now, this is not working right because I can't get out of the seat. But the frames per second on the server is at 30, so I've got no control over the ship. Got that. Yeah. character has no control of the ship. Somehow I got kicked out of it even though I'm still here. So, with that, I've got plenty of FPS on the card, and I've got plenty of FPS for the server. It's just me. But I was able to get in, take a flight. Just not as good as it could be, but with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it because it's going to take me a whole lot of time to get back in, and I don't want to hold you guys up. Been at it for an hour. So I hope you all enjoyed this Snowbirds meeting room. It was mostly about the ISC and a little bit of gameplay. It took me a minute to get in here to set up, but it's running a little rough right now. So for those that have stopped by, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I will see you tomorrow for cargo running and some overdrive events. If people need it, please feel free, hit me up, and we'll go out and we'll do it. All right, everybody, have a wonderful Sunday, Palm Sunday, and see you tomorrow. Take care.